You know that my body's on fire right now. The title, by the way, is legit. I pulled a muscle in my left hand, and I have carpal tunnel flare-up happening on my right. It's not just fire, according to Air Caves. It is a dumpster fire. Yup. And yes, Air Caves is saying that I am trash. I hope your week has been far less interesting than mine has thus far. No, yesterday was the kind of day where you wonder why you bothered ever getting out of bed. It's the kind of day that started off with a migraine and only got better from there. Screw it. The story's gonna happen at some point. We might as well start with it here. So, my day yesterday. So I woke up with a migraine yesterday, and I was dehydrated because I was an idiot the day prior and had not been drinking enough water. So I had to make sure that I dealt with getting my ADHD meds, picking them up. And that's just it's an administrative task. That's the kind of thing that executive function is already something that can be an issue when you're working with ADHD. So the med problems get a little interesting. So I had to figure out a new pharmacy in the area, one that was in network, figured one out. Cool! It's my local grocery store that I go to anyways. Yes! So I'm taking ibuprofen, slowly getting a little bit of caffeine in my system. We had found one more of my Vyvanse, so I had a med for yesterday. So words. I can totally think. So I wound up going to the store, which of course they had terrible pop music stuff playing, and it was loud, and the PA was particularly loud, and I don't know what the hell Sheila did, but they kept on calling for just hashtag blame Sheila. I have no idea what was going on, but there were a lot of announcements going on, and it was really overwhelming for me. I ended up calling a friend and using that to help me stay grounded and focused, but it was causing my migraine to surge. I had to deal with administrative tasks in the middle of that. It was just not a pleasant store trip, is the really long story short. Can you please report to this register? Except blared loud. Yeah. Imagine the worst phone call on speakerphone ever in existence, and then dial that terrible quality up to 11, and it feels like driving nails into your skull and into your eardrums. All this is going on, right? And then I'm still talking with a friend while I'm working on bringing groceries in. Yeah, I put the cats up in the bathroom so that they don't try to make a break for it, and I have a minute of peace while I'm working on putting, refrigerated stuff away. All that jazz. Except, usually so I had 12 packs of ginger ale. And usually I basically do the live long and prosper splay, except each pair of fingers is used to carry a 12 pack. This is how I've always carried 12 packs of soda if I have multiple. I wasn't paying attention, and I ended up with the wrong split. So it was my index finger and then 3 other fingers. I was carrying this towards the door, and I didn't notice this until I noticed that the one 12 pack of soda was moving more than usual and it was less stable, but I didn't process why. But as I was going to open the door, I felt the sudden tension and pain in my hand that had me swearing up a storm instantly, because I knew exactly what kind of pain that was. That is the exact kind of pain that's associated with pulling a muscle. So I'm like, God damn, I just pulled a muscle that serves my index finger in my hand. This continued to get better, but really quickly, let's circle to chat. Stage, let's put a phone speaker up to a microphone and running it through a PA system. Exactly. But so I pulled the muscle in my hand. And I'm sitting here going, I'm supposed to be playing The Witness yesterday, which means keyboard WASD for movement, and then, excuse me, mouse for point of view and puzzle control. Now, me being the being the tenacious and stubborn individual that I am, is like, even if my like left hand falls off, I want to stream. And the migraine was trying to subside, so I'm like, okay, you know what? My mouse has buttons on the side of it. It's one of those like MMO mice, but I don't actually use it for that. The biggest feature that I end up using is the ability to change my DPI, just with the pair of buttons that's on the mouse itself, which is super handy. But I've got these buttons on the side of it that I almost never use. So I'm sitting there going, if I bind one to forward and one to back, I can still stream, and I can do it one-handed. Because even though at that point it turns into parallel parking and 3-point turn, the stream, the myth, the legend, I could do it. Stage, the side buttons on your mouse are pretty useful in a lot of games. Grenades, scoreboards, melee, it's versatile. I just don't find them very often. But one of the things that I've recognized is that it means that I have some flexibility in terms of keybinds if I have to, or if I need additional things. And I always forget at convenient times when I'm trying to think of things like keybinds for OBS that I have the buttons on the side of my mouse. But I remembered it for this. So like I said, parallel parking or, and 3-point turn the stream. It would have been silly, ridiculous, fine, but I could have done it. So I gave the kittens a pair of treats, these like meat sticks. And if I give them both a treat at the same time, then Justify will mug Pharaoh and steal Pharaoh's treat. And then Pharaoh doesn't want to have the one that Justify was already gnawing on and has vacated. So I have to give a treat to Pharaoh, let Justify mug him, and then give Pharaoh another treat. This is just what I've accepted as, stuff that's going to happen in this household. So I end up tossing Pharaoh's treat up the stairs. Because I'm like, the Wobble Cat's not going to be able to effectively, like, mug him on the stairs, right? So Justify is going up the stairs to mug his brother and steal, the second treat. And I'm like, oh no, please, not on the stairs. Justify, little Wobble Cat, no. So I go to sit towards the top of the stairs so that at least he doesn't, like, fall down the whole flight of stairs. And I go to, and I'm still on a call with this friend. And I sit down on the stairs and I go to lean against the wall. I recognize that there's a window behind me. That's no problem. I just forget that means that there's going to be a windowsill. And I lean back a little too hard, so I crack the back of my head against the windowsill. Which is like, really? Really? Oh. So I'm swearing up a storm again. And my head hurts again. But at least it's not migraine hurt, right? Because the migraine was working on subsiding. So then I'm like, okay, I start like drafting a message because I'm like, I'm not streaming on time at this point. I was scheduled for a 3:30 stream yesterday. It was not starting on time. This was at like 3 that I was bashing my head in and stuff. So a friend has to go change a sec, so his AFK a moment, is across the room from their headset, and they start hearing loud noises from my end. They come back and are like, what the heck did you just do? I had tried to stand up to go downstairs to get myself a snack or something, and I didn't quite get my feet under me. And they slipped off the edge of the step. So now I go bouncing down the whole set of stairs on my butt, swearing up a storm the whole way. Yeah, Erica, this is an impressive string of nat ones. You just stop using the loaded die. Yeah, I know, right? So I've gone bouncing down the stairs on my butt, which my tailbone still loves me for, let me tell you. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, yeah, we're delaying stream an hour. So instead of 3:30, we're gonna start at 4:30. My migraine was working on subsiding and stuff. and I wrap up on the call with the friend. I'm sitting down with something to eat. The problem is that my migraines are, I didn't address this specifically earlier. People usually think of migraines as being sensitive to light and sound, right? Mine are almost exclusively sensitive to sound. So I can deal with things like, brightly lit environments, snow on the ground, whatever, no problem. Driving, etc. So long as, like, I'm not dealing with a stabbing wave of pain, fine, sure. The problem was that a delivery van pulled up across the street from the house and was blasting music and was making deliveries to several houses on the block. They were blasting just terrible crap. And I would prefer nails on chalkboard. We'll put it that way. I would prefer nails on chalkboard. So I wind up just with the migraine coming back in force, and I'm like dizzy. I need to have some ginger ale so that like my stomach calms down, and I just need to go lay down. At which point stream got canceled. The kicker is that this was not the extent of injury and pain that yesterday. Oh no. My body wasn't done yet. It decided, hey, you know what you haven't had in a while? A carpal tunnel flare-up. So my right hand has a carpal tunnel flare-up happening. So just sometimes it's like, oh, hey, nerve pain. Oh, hey, my grip strength goes to shit. No, NBD, no problem. Oh, this is my life at the moment.